It's midnight and you're watching Nightline. I'm Brandon Wong. The top stories. Malaysia records 3 new cases for suspected novel coronavirus. And assets worth more than 300 million ringgit belonging to drug kingpin seized. Good morning. 3 new cases for suspected novel coronavirus are awaiting laboratory test results. Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said the 3 cases, all involving Chinese nationals, were received since Monday. Speaking in Putrajaya, Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli said 2 cases were reported in Langkawi and 1 in Bintulu. He also stressed that his team has intensified its level of preparedness by carrying out rigorous monitoring and screening at all entry points to the country.
So that is our level of preparedness and response. Kita berada pada itu, and we are the second in ASEAN. Third in ASEAN after Thailand and no, you got it wrong. We are Japan. Kita ahead of Singapore, by the way. Maaf, saya terpaksa cakap. Kita ahead of Singapore in this GHS ataupun Global Health Security Index. That is our level of preparedness. Dan begitulah I want to assure Menteri Motek for this tahun melawat Malaysia. We will do our level best daripada KKM. My team from top to the ground, we are prepared and prepared ourselves well in advance.
Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli said this at a media conference after a special meeting to discuss issues on the coronavirus outbreak chaired by Tourism Minister Datuk Muhammadin Katapi on Tuesday. And with the level of preparedness, the Health Ministry said the coronavirus cluster outbreak across the country is under control, with only 4 Chinese nationals confirmed positive for the infection as of Tuesday morning. The ministry has picked 26 hospitals nationwide to serve as referral hospitals in handling cases of patients under investigation and those confirmed with novel coronavirus. This infographic was released by the Health Ministry on Tuesday. According to the information, 5 of the hospitals are in the peninsula, 4 in Sabah, 6 in Sarawak and 1 in Labuan. The hospitals in the peninsula are Tengku Fauzia Hospital in Kanga Perlis, Pulau Pinang Hospital in Georgetown, Sultana Bahia Hospital in Alostar and Langkawi Hospital in Padang Matsirat, both in Kedah, Raja Permaisuri Bainun Hospital in Ipoh Perak, Sungai Buloh Hospital in Selangor, Kuala Lumpur Hospital in the Federal Capital, Tuanku Jaafar Hospital in Seremban, Negeri Sembilan, Malacca Hospital and Sultana Amina Hospital in Johor Bahru, Johor. For the East Coast states, those with coronavirus symptoms in Kelantan will be referred to either the Raja Perempuan Zainab II Hospital in Kota Baru, Kuala Krai Hospital or Tumpat Hospital, while in Terengganu and Pahang, the referral hospitals are the Sultana Nur Zahira Hospital in Kuala Terengganu and the Tengku Ampuan Afzan Hospital in Kuantan, respectively. The referral hospitals for coronavirus in Sabah are the Queen Elizabeth Hospital and the Sabah Women and Children Hospital, both in Kota Kinabalu, the Duchess of Kent Hospital in Sandakan, as well as Tawau Hospital, Lahad Datu Hospital and Keningau Hospital. In Labuan, Labuan Hospital. While in Sarawak, the hospitals are the Sarawak General Hospital in Kuching, Miri Hospital, Bintulu Hospital and Sibu Hospital. Meanwhile, the Finance Ministry has expedited funding for 12 additional thermal scanners that Health Minister Datuk Sri Zulkifli Ahmad said were needed to help monitor for a possible outbreak of the Wuhan coronavirus. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said the devices were essential to detect arriving visitors who may be carrying the novel coronavirus that has already caused over 100 deaths in China. In a statement on Tuesday, Lim said the request is related to critical efforts to safeguard public health. Hence, he has asked the Treasury Secretary General Tan Sri Ahmad Badri Mohamad Zahir to facilitate the funding as soon as possible. Lim added that his ministry was giving its full support to the Health Ministry in order to ensure that public health agencies were equipped to perform their duties to international standards. The Health Ministry is already conducting thermal scanning at all the country's major entry points. In the meantime, Economic Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali stressed that the spread of the novel coronavirus has yet to cause any impact on Malaysia's economy. However, the issue will not be taken lightly and the government will continue monitoring closely any effect towards the economy.
Sekiranya perkara ini berterusan seperti juga dengan wabak-wabak yang lain sebelum ini, pastinya ia ada memberi kesan kepada ekonomi negara. Namun saya tidak mahu membuat sebarang spekulasi kerana perkara ini satu perkara yang serius yang perlu dipantau oleh agensi dan kementerian yang berkenaan dan kita akan mengambil maklumat dan nasihat daripada mereka tentang apakah langkah seterusnya untuk diambil.
Datuk Seri Azmin also said the monitoring activities will be focused on tourism movement and the import of food as well as agro-based products from China. On Monday, the government halted all immigration facilities, including issuing visas for Chinese citizens from Wuhan and areas around Hubei province with immediate effect. Meanwhile, the Tourism, Arts and Culture Ministry is maintaining its 30 million tourist arrivals target for Visit Malaysia 2020 despite the Wuhan virus scare. Its Minister, Datuk Muhammadin Ketapi, believes that the target can still be achieved, even though Malaysia's largest tourism market, China, is seriously affected by the illness.
We don't revive the target is still 30 million, you know. If there is a small impact on that one, probably from Wuhan, because that we are talking now. But we are not talking about people from Australia or from England affected by that viral and they cannot come in here. You understand what I mean? So no, that target, I think, remain as it is.
According to him, the current coronavirus woe is only temporary and tourists would return in numbers after the disease has been eradicated. Up to September last year, some 2.5 million tourist arrivals from China were recorded. In putting the interests of the people first, China has taken rapid and strong measures for a nationwide prevention and control mechanism. With heightened cautiousness of the movement, healthcare officials are demanding for sufficient medicines and protective devices, including medical gloves. With the current demand, China has reached out to Malaysia for an urgent need for medical glove supply. The Malaysian Rubber Glove Manufacturers Association, MAGMA, on Tuesday said that the industry would do its utmost best to ensure an adequate supply of medical gloves for the world is met. Its president, Dennis Lau, said Beijing is now requesting for more urgent shipments and the association believes that its members have already obliged and are ramping up production to meet that request. And against the backdrop of the coronavirus outbreak, shares of Top Glove Corporation Berhad on Tuesday closed at an all-time high, 8.3% higher, following a positive technical outlook on the stock. RHB Retail Research said Top Glove may climb higher after posting a white candle and hitting its new 52-week high. China on Tuesday reported 26 more deaths from the novel coronavirus, bringing the total death toll to at least 106, as the number of total confirmed cases in China rose to 4,515. According to the National Health Commission, of the 26 deaths, 24 were recorded in Hubei province, 1 in Beijing and 1 in Hainan province. The commission also said that a total of 60 people had been discharged from hospital after recovery since Monday. In addition, another 6,973 people are suspected of being infected and 44,132 more people who were in close contact with those diagnosed are being monitored. Following the development, Hong Kong announced on Tuesday that it was closing many of its border crossings with mainland China in a bid to contain the outbreak. Meanwhile, beyond China, Germany and Sri Lanka have declared their first confirmed cases of the deadly coronavirus. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, and national authorities, to date, there have been at least 47 confirmed cases outside China, as more countries have put in extra screening at airports and warned their citizens to avoid travel to China. Police have seized assets worth 366 million ringgit belonging to a local man believed to be a drug kingpin who attempted to smuggle black cocaine valued at 2.4 billion ringgit last year. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Abdul Hamid Bado said police are on the hunt for the suspect who is believed to be hiding in a neighbouring country. According to Tan Sri Abdul Hamid, the assets include properties, among them houses and a hotel in Pulau Pinang, shares of various companies, as well as cash and luxury vehicles.
Kita sedang bekerjasama, mendapat kerjasama daripada pihak berkuasa negara tersebut untuk menangkap dan membawa dia balik ke sini. So harta-harta yang dirampas tadi yang berjumlah 366 juta tadi ya, itu pulang kepada dia lah untuk nak kontes di mahkamah. Kalau dia rasa itu harta itu dibeli dengan duit yang halal, maka dia datang balik sini.
The international drug smuggling syndicate, which used the coal business as a front, was smashed by cops in a raid on September the 10th last year. In the operation, 12 tons of cocaine mixed with coal in 3 containers was seized by authorities at the North Butterworth Container Terminal. 9 men, including 7 foreigners, believed to be linked to the kingpin, were also nabbed. At the time of the raid, the suspect was already overseas. The case is being investigated under the Dangerous Drugs Act. On another matter, the top cop said more individuals will be called to give statements to assist investigations into the audio recordings released by the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, recently.
Dan back to the audio case, bila Datuk Seri Najib akan dipanggil?
Itu saya belum dapat dia punya apa lagi sebab sebagaimana yang saya sebutkan tadi ya, pegawai-pegawai di bawah jenayah terkelas ni terbeban dengan banyak kes. Satu persatulah mereka akan InsyaAllah benda ini akan disiasat dengan seadil-adilnya, setelus-telusnya. Ya.
Tan Sri Abdul Hamid added police have called Baling Member of Parliament Tan Sri Abdul Aziz Abdul Rahim on Monday night and recorded his statement. On the authenticity of the voices in the recording, the IGP said his team needed more time to investigate and ascertain all the voices. Petronas and Agro Bank have partnered to offer microfinancing worth 100 million ringgit to B40 micro-entrepreneurs in the agriculture and agro-based sectors. According to the Agriculture and Agro-based Industry Minister, Datuk Sri Salahuddin Ayub, the fund will be disbursed over 5 years and expected to benefit 90,000 agropreneurs.
Daripada 10,000 yang paling rendah, 300,000 yang maksimum. Kita mengunjurkan kita dapat memberikan manfaat kepada lebih kurang 90,000 usahawan tani di seluruh negara. Jadi ini sangat bermakna dan saya harap kita akan dapat untuk menjalinkan lebih banyak kolaborasi yang rakan strategik ini.
Agro Bank, which manages the fund, will provide financing of up to 100% of the agripreneurs' operational costs at a low 2% interest rate per annum. Agro Bank has over 11 microfinance programs nationwide covering paddy cultivation, chili fertilizer, oil palm, dairy cows, pineapple, swallows and many more. Darul Quran tragedy, youth ordered to enter defense. This and more local stories when we return. Welcome back. The Shah Alam High Court in Selangor on Tuesday cleared Attorney General Tan Sri Tommy Thomas of contempt of court in the inquest proceeding of Fireman Adib Muhammad Kasim last year. Judicial Commissioner Mior Hashimi Abdul Hamid said the application by Adib's father, Muhammad Kasim Abdul Hamid, had failed to comply with the High Court rules for non-disclosure of material facts. The court said the coroner also failed to consider some of the matters raised by the AG and his officer in their affidavits. Mior Hashimi said the coroner had also taken into account matters outside the ambit of the contempt application. He also ruled that the coroner had jurisdiction to hear the complaint against Tan Sri Thomas for showing disrespect to the court. On July the 16th, Muhammad Adib's father had filed an ex parte application for a committal order against Tan Sri Thomas for allegedly insulting the court through the filing of an affidavit by the Attorney General's chambers on April the 3rd, which indicated that Adib's death was not caused by injuries sustained. The Kuala Lumpur High Court on Tuesday ordered a 19-year-old youth to enter his defence over the death of 23 students of Darul Quran Ittifaqiyah Tafiz, which burned down in a fire 3 years ago. Judge Dato' Azman Abdul made the ruling after finding that the prosecution had succeeded in establishing a prima facie case against him. The youth was 16 when the incident occurred. The judge, however, acquitted and discharged another youth, also 19, without calling for his defence. They were jointly charged with murdering and causing the death of the 23 inmates at the Tafiz Centre at Jalan Keramat Hujung, Kampung Datuk Keramat on September the 14th, 2017. They were charged with 23 counts of murder each under Section 302 of the Penal Code, which provides the mandatory death sentence upon conviction. However, the Child Act 2001 prohibits the imposition of the death penalty against a person under the age of 18, and in lieu of the death sentence, the court shall order the person to be detained at the pleasure of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. The defence trial is set for a 2-day hearing beginning March the 2nd. A total of 71 witnesses took to the stand during the prosecution trial. The Kelantan police have arrested 2 men and successfully seized 4,000 yaba pills worth 40,000 ringgit in Tanah Merah on Saturday. According to District Police Chief Deputy Superintendent Zainuddin Mat Yusof, this was following checks conducted by police on a Perudua Kancil which had stopped along Jalan Kampung Bukit Gading at 1:45 p.m. Both men, believed to be pushers, were unemployed and one of them had previous criminal records for drug-related offences. The suspects, aged 24 and 26, have been remanded until February the 1st to facilitate investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act. Also in Kelantan, 8 individuals were remanded over a brawl between 2 groups that killed 2 men in Machang on Monday. The suspects, in their 20s and 30s, were issued the remand order by the Kuala Krai Magistrates Court to facilitate police investigations into the case. 7 of the 8 suspects were remanded until Sunday by Magistrate Ahmad Razim Alias, while the other suspect, a 31-year-old army man, was remanded until Monday. According to police, the incident occurred due to a misunderstanding between both parties. Over in Terengganu, police have obtained an order to remand an unemployed man for 7 days, beginning Tuesday over the death of his 2-year-old niece who was stabbed a day earlier. The remand order against the 26-year-old man was issued by Kemaman Sessions Court Judge Azman Mustafa. In the incident, the girl was said to be playing at her house in Felda Cerul Dua when she was stabbed in the chest at about 1 p.m, allegedly by a close relative. The suspect, who tested positive for drugs and has previous records for drug-related offences, was apprehended by neighbours about half an hour later and handed over to police. Iran claims CIA boss behind Soleimani's death was killed in downing of jet by Taliban. Stay tuned for more details. The foreign segment. An Iranian news agency claimed on Tuesday that a top CIA chief, Michael D'Andrea, who orchestrated the assassination of General Qasim Soleimani, was allegedly killed in the downing of a U.S. Air Force jet a day earlier in Afghanistan. The highly dubious report came after the Pentagon denied that the Taliban shot down the E-11A communications jet in the Diak district, saying the plane had crashed due to a technical error. The U.S. military gave no details of casualties, but Iranian media and Kremlin-linked news sites have claimed that among the dead was DeAndrea, a CIA boss credited with hunting down Osama bin Laden, known as the Dark Prince, and Ayatollah Mike. Initially, the Taliban claimed that there were no survivors in the crash and had recovered 6 bodies, all of which were CIA officials. The group also claimed that the jet was not a standard U.S. communications plane, but DeAndrea's mobile command center. And before we wrap up this edition of Nightline, let's take a look at what has been installed on the front pages of Malaysia's main newspapers on Wednesday, January the 29th. The New Straits Times highlights health professionals' call for calm and a sensible response from the public on the spread of coronavirus. While the nation's best-selling Malay daily, Harian Metro, discusses the new causes of coronavirus in Malaysia and the seizure of assets worth more than 300 million ringgit belonging to drug kingpin. Also highlighting the coronavirus in Malaysia is Berita Harian, as it focuses the authorities' move to quarantine ships from China. And a report on the effects of the coronavirus on equities, the ringgit and crude palm oil takes the front page of the Malaysian Reserve. Do get your copies. Kasih Malaysia's chairwoman, the Prime Minister's wife, Tun Dr. Siti Hasmah Muhammad Ali, attended a Chinese New Year celebration program at the Selangor King George V Old Folks Home in Kuala Lumpur. She spent almost 2 hours enjoying Yi Sang and exchanging pleasantries with around 20 of the home's residents. Visuals of the celebration wrap up this edition of Nightline. I'm Brendan Wong. Thank you for tuning in and take care.